Hello there, it's Tim again, sharing ideas about Stoicism. And today we're going to look at the Stoic worry tree. Now, I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist. In CBT, we have something called the worry tree, which is a really useful tool. My number one tool for help people who are worriers. And so what we've done here is we've adapted it so that it's kind of going around full circle, because CBT comes from Stoicism, and now Stoicism borrowing something from CBT, but with a Stoic twist. So I hope this is going to be really helpful for you. So let's have a look at what we mean by the Stoic worry tree. So it's whenever we spot ourselves worrying, which is thinking about things in the future in an unhelpful way, going around in circles, or ruminating, which is when we're doing the same thing about the past. So an example might be, what if I get COVID-19? If you're listening to this in a year's time, I'm recording this at the time of lockdown, when that is certainly a worry on many people's minds. Or it might be ruminating, dwelling on something like, why didn't the government, whichever country you're in, you're probably asking yourself this, why didn't the government do more about it? Now, sometimes thinking can be helpful, but if we think about it, that's only going to be the case where there's some aspect of what we're concerned about that is under our control. So we need to ask ourselves this key question: is there any aspect of the thing I'm thinking about that is under my control? And we Stoics believe that the main things that are under our control are our attitude and our actions. So either way, we need to think. So I'm going down this path, which is, for the things under my control, we ask ourselves, because we still don't know what attitude or actions we need to adopt. And of course, the virtues are our guidelines. We need to adopt attitudes and actions that are wise, self-controlled, courageous, and just or fair. And then, if we can do something about it, we have to say, can we do it now? So we do it, and then we can neglect the worry. It's gone away, we've done it. If no, we say we'll schedule it, plan it, and then we can park the worry, because it's not quite gone, but we don't have to really be concerned about it, because we've got a plan. Okay, what about the things that we can't do anything about, or the aspects of a problem we can't do anything about? Well, this will normally be the past, the specific outcomes, and other people and what they do. Some of the things that are outside our control, we have to try and neglect the worry. And when we're trying to neglect the worry or part the worry, we need self-control, so we're not kind of keep going around in circles. We need wisdom, because we've already decided it's something outside my control, so it's logical not to think about it anymore. Now, there are also some techniques. So Donald Robertson in week 3 of SMRT talks about worry postponement. So the brain doesn't respond very well to the idea that you should just block thoughts out. That tends to be counterproductive. Much more helpful is the idea that I'll have a worry time when I'll think of all these things, or not. I can choose. So 6 o'clock, you've got our concern, you decide it's not something that's helpful to think about. You say, I'll postpone it to my worry time at 8 o'clock, for instance. And the brain tends to be satisfied with that kind of postponing, thinking about it. Then 8 o'clock comes along and you might decide, actually, I've got better things to do than think about that thing that isn't under my control. Cognitive distancing. So do you remember what this is? It's, for instance, the leaves on a stream exercise. So we're not saying you necessarily have to do the leaves on the stream exercise every time you have a worry, but you treat the worry as if it was, for instance, a leaf on a stream, where it's something apart from your mind. You're separating your thought from you. So there's you, the thinker, and there's the thought. And you can imagine it as if it's a leaf on a stream floating gradually by, or even it's on a cloud and it's kind of disappearing into the distance. Or sometimes you can think it's like a passenger deciding whether to get on a train. It's a train of thoughts. You don't have to run with it. So whichever of those images you like, the idea is that thoughts are events in the brain, they're not the thing itself, and you can choose what you do with the thought. You can just let it be there, or you can engage with it. And in these situations, it's better to what? Better to engage with it, or better to leave it there? Better to leave it there, because it's not under your control. Okay, so the idea then is to keep calm and use the worry tree, the Stoic worry tree. And there is a Stoic olive tree, Parthenon of Athens, very appropriate. Now, I bet you're thinking, this sounds good. How do I practice it? I hope you're thinking that anyway. So should we run through an example or two? So, supposing you're thinking, what if my elderly parent gets COVID from me? Okay, that might be something you've been worrying about. So in the UK now, for instance, lockdown is starting to be a little bit released, or a little bit lighter, and so you might be thinking of things like that more than you would. Can the Stoic worry tree help? Well, yes, it can, because you can't ultimately control whether she gets COVID. So if you're worrying about that and it's nothing to do with what you can do, you need to neglect the worry. Perhaps see that worry as put it on a leaf, let it go, or postpone it to your worry time. But maybe there are aspects you can control. Let's think about it. Well, maybe I need to think about justice. So it wouldn't be fair if I visited her just because it reassured me, just because I wanted to, if I was going to give it to her when she might die from it. So justice might say, don't go. Wisdom might mean finding other means of supporting her or getting support for her. Maybe you could do a Skype or Zoom with her. Or maybe if you do go to meet her, you keep well apart from her, or wear a face mask. You feel like hugging her, but you don't if it's your mother. And self-control would mean, again, perhaps not hugging her if you did go and see her. So courage, is courage relevant here? Well, courage is the ability to do stuff that needs doing, even if you kind of feel the opposite. So again, it might be supposing you decide that I'm worried that my elderly mother will get COVID from me. You might decide that on balance I can go and see her, but I'm going to wear a face mask, which is a bit courageous because what will she say? And you might feel a bit uncomfortable. You're going to stay 2 meters from her, maybe, and that is using justice because you really don't want her to get COVID from you. And then if you notice other thoughts about her getting COVID unrelated to your visit, you might say, well, I'm doing all I can, I've given her all the advice, and so I've got to let those worries be there without me doing anything about it. Does that make any sense? Should we do one more? Okay. Are the government doing enough? Again, whichever country you're in. Well, is there any aspect you can control? Well, unless you're in the government, very high up, probably not. Does that mean you just kind of ignore the worry? Well, maybe not, because let's think about what your concerns actually are. Maybe your concerns are that there are some minority groups who are suffering because of the way the government is handling it. Well, that could be under your control. You could do something about that. You could make a donation, for instance. That would be justice. You could form campaigns, write letters. And again, although you can't completely control the outcome, you can do your bit, your civic duty to do all you can. And obviously you're doing this like the Stoic archer. Remember the Stoic archer who realizes that they're going to do their best, but they might miss the target through ill luck. So you're going to do your best, but realizing that the outcome is actually beyond your control. But Stoicism is not the same as resignation or quietism. you still might be pretty damn active doing stuff about things that matters. So, should we have one last example? Supposing you're worried about, this might seem trivial, but it's on people's minds, worried about your holiday plans. You know, what if I can't go on holiday this year? Well, there's lots that aren't under your control. I guess we'd have to ask, maybe it's outcomes here, or maybe it's the future. You don't really know what's going to happen with regards to lockdown, or what's going to be possible or advisable in July or August. So it might be a case of actually using self-control and wisdom to think, I'm not going to think about it too much at the moment. Maybe postpone thinking about it, not till 8 o'clock, but until June, or when you're closer to the time. You might say, well, maybe there's something under my control, my attitude. Maybe the attitude might be, cross that bridge when I come to it, which would probably be wise. Maybe the action might be, well, don't worry about it, but you could start the early stages of planning. You could do, couldn't you? You could talk to people, you could do a little bit of research. But it would be important to do this in a way that didn't stir up your kind of worrying about it, or getting too worked up about it. So we've looked at the worry tree, Stoic worry tree. Do you think it could be helpful? Are you a worrier? Are you a ruminator? The thing I really like about this is that it is a help with worrying and ruminating, but it also helps you problem solve and to be a good person. So it combines both elements of Stoicism. Stoicism that helps you manage difficult emotions down this side, and the Stoicism that helps you be a virtuoso at living well, which is down this side. So why not print it off? Why not practice it today? Be really interested to hear how you get on with it. And if you want to drop me an email, stoic@timlebon.com. You can subscribe to this channel on YouTube, Stoic Life Coaching. And there's a blog article I've written which describes it, and a couple more examples in detail, on blog.timlebon.com. Search for Stoic Worry Tree Tim LeBon, and you'll see the one that 2020 is the one to go for. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope you use the Stoic Worry Tree today and whenever you need it. See you later.